You were supposed to feel alive in your 20s, hungry, driven, energetic. Instead, you're exhausted, mentally drained, emotionally numb, running on caffeine, pressure, and survival mode. And the worst part, everyone acts like this is normal. Work harder. Grind now, relax later. You're young. This is the hustle phase. But what if your burnout isn't proof of ambition? What if it's a warning? Because exhaustion this early in life is not a badge of honor. It's a signal. Something is wrong with the way you're living. And deep down, you already know it. You wake up tired, you procrastinate constantly. Your focus is collapsing. Even things you used to enjoy feel heavy now. Not because you're lazy, because your system is overloaded. And your 20s? They were never meant to feel like permanent recovery from stress. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are burning out before they've even built anything meaningful. Think about that. Exhausted before mastery, drained before purpose, emotionally depleted before stability. That's dangerous. Because burnout doesn't just destroy energy, it destroys identity. You slowly stop recognizing yourself. Your ambition fades, your confidence weakens, your curiosity disappears, and eventually, you stop chasing growth, you start chasing relief. That's when people settle. Not because they lack potential, because they became too exhausted to keep evolving. Now look at the system around you. Constant comparison, constant stimulation, constant pressure to optimize your entire existence. Wake up earlier, work more, build faster, achieve sooner. Everyone is sprinting, but nobody's asking a critical question. Sprinting toward what? Because movement without direction still leads to exhaustion. And most people in their 20s are not building intentionally. They're reacting to trends, to pressure, to fear of falling behind. That's why burnout feels so common now. You're carrying expectations your nervous system was never designed to hold continuously, and social media makes it worse. Every day, you see someone younger making more money, moving faster, winning harder, so you internalize panic. Now resting feels guilty, slowing down feels weak, and suddenly, your entire self-worth becomes tied to productivity. That's not ambition, that's psychological conditioning. Now here's where it gets deeper. Burnout is not just working too hard, it's living disconnected from yourself for too long, doing things you hate, ignoring your body, suppressing emotions, performing constantly. You become efficient externally while collapsing internally, and eventually, your mind forces resistance. That's why everything feels harder now. Simple tasks feel overwhelming. Focus feels impossible. Motivation disappears. Your brain is protecting itself, not sabotaging you. Now here's the dangerous part. Most people respond to burnout incorrectly. They attack themselves. I need more discipline. I need to stop being lazy. I need to push harder. No, you need to listen, because burnout is communication. Your body saying, this pace is unsustainable. And if you ignore it long enough, the consequences become bigger. Anxiety, emotional numbness, chronic exhaustion, sometimes even physical symptoms, because your nervous system keeps score, always. Now listen carefully. Because this changes everything. You do not build a powerful future by destroying yourself in the process. That's not strength. That's self-neglect disguised as ambition. Real ambition is sustainable. It creates momentum without self-destruction. And most people never learn that until it's too late. Now here's the first shift. Stop glorifying exhaustion. Being constantly tired does not mean you're productive. It often means your system is poorly designed. Elite performers understand recovery, athletes recover, machines cool down, high-level thinkers create space, but people in their 20s, they glorify overload. As if burnout proves commitment. It doesn't, it proves imbalance. Now here's the second shift. Redefine success, not just achievement, sustainability. Can you build success? Without destroying your mental health, can you grow? Without losing yourself? Because if your success requires chronic exhaustion, eventually the system collapses. Now here's something deeper. Your 20s shape your baseline, the habits, the stress patterns, the nervous system conditioning, and if you spend this decade constantly dysregulated, that becomes your normal. That's why burnout now matters so much. You are training your future self every day. Now here's the third shift. Protect your nervous system like it matters, because it does. Sleep properly. Reduce unnecessary stimulation. Stop flooding your brain with endless comparison. Your mind cannot function clearly under constant overload, and clarity is one of the most valuable things you can build. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't need to do everything right now. Most people are rushing because they're afraid of being behind, afraid of not succeeding fast enough, afraid of feeling ordinary. So they overload themselves trying to outrun insecurity. But insecurity cannot be outrun through exhaustion, only understood. Now here's the fourth shift. Build slower if necessary, but build sustainably. Because consistency beats emotional extremes every time. You do not need endless intensity, you need repeatable structure. That's how real success compounds. Now think about this. What's the point of building a successful life if you're too mentally exhausted to enjoy it? What's the point of achievement if your nervous system is permanently dysregulated? That's not winning, that's surviving in expensive clothes. Now here's where identity changes. Most people think burnout means weakness. It doesn't. Sometimes burnout means you ignored yourself for too long, and self-abandonment always has consequences. So the fifth shift, reconnect with yourself, not your online identity, not your productivity metrics, you. What actually matters to you? What pace feels sustainable? What kind of life are you building? Because if you don't answer those questions intentionally, society answers them for you. And society profits from exhausted people too distracted to think deeply, too tired to reflect, too overwhelmed to redirect their lives. Now listen carefully, because this may be the most important part. You are not supposed to sacrifice your entire 20s just to prove you're ambitious. That decade matters, not just financially, psychologically, emotionally. It shapes how you experience life. And if your 20s become nothing but stress, anxiety, and burnout, you don't just lose energy, you lose presence. Now here's the final shift. Treat burnout as feedback, not failure. Feedback that your life needs redesign, your habits, your environment, your relationship with achievement. Because once you listen, everything can change. Your focus returns, your energy stabilizes, your ambition becomes clearer, not chaotic, directed, and directed energy is powerful. Now step back. Be honest with yourself. Are you truly building a meaningful future? Or are you just trapped in constant pressure, trying not to fall behind? Because there's a difference, and one path leads to growth, the other leads to collapse. Choose carefully, because burnout in your 20s is not something to normalize, it's a warning, and warnings exist for a reason. If this changed your perspective, subscribe, because the next video might change your life.